Hi there, tonight for dinner, hanger steak. It's one of my favorite cuts. It is so delicious. So if you come across a hanger steak or you add it to your cart from Brown Percy, this is really the best way to cook it. But it also has this sinewy bit running across the center. So I'm just gonna take my knife and cut that out. This save for later for stocks or my clarified steak butter, and then if there's any other little bits of fat, I'll just clean that off. Now because these two are separated, normally you have two steaks from the hanger steak. I kind of got this, and that's okay. This I'm going to go ahead and cut in half, and I'm just doing that because I want them all about the same size so they all cook at about the same time. Now I'm going to dry brine mine. It's just my preferred way to do it. You don't have to. If not, just roll them out of the refrigerator a good 30 minutes to 40 minutes. Let them come up to room temperature, and then right before they go into however you're cooking them, give them a nice salt and pepper. But for dry brining, I'm going to do probably a teaspoon per pound of meat and cover this really well. I'm going to let it sit in the refrigerator uncovered at least an hour, preferably 3 to 4 hours. And so what this does is this is going to start pulling moisture from the meat, which sounds bad, but it's going to kind of bubble all up on the top, and then it has no place to go, so it just soaks back in. So this is a way that you get that salt not just on the outside but all the way through your meat. So I'm popping these in the refrigerator, and I'll see you back here around dinner time. Okay, so we're about 40 minutes away from having dinner, so I'm going to pop these out of the fridge. I want them to come up to room temperature, at least 30 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes. I'm going to set them on a rack because if there's any moisture in there, I want it to drain, because we don't want any moisture on our steaks, because moisture in that hot pan makes steam, and steam means we don't get that crispy sear that we want. Okay, so it is dinner time. Now this goes really fast, so make sure you got your sides pretty much ready to go. I've got my cast iron on high heat. I want this thing screaming hot. You can do it on the grill. If you do on the grill, get your grill nice and hot. I really want the surface of my cast iron to be about 450 degrees. And you will know it when it's hot. It'll start to smoke if you don't have an infrared. So as you can see, we are smoking here. Let's see where we are. 460. We're hot. So I am going to do a tablespoon of my tallow in here, or you can use your avocado oil. You want something that can handle the heat. And you see how that just shimmers when it goes in there? That's another way that you can know that your pan is nice and hot, when you see that shimmer. I'm going to put these in. I'm going to set my timer for 2 minutes. Okay, that 2 minutes is up. I'm going to flip. Look at that nice sear we have on there. I'm going to set my timer for another 2 minutes. Now I'm going to add some of my clarified steak butter here. But you can do a little real butter as well. But if you have a clarified butter or my clarified steak butter, it's a great option for this. And I'm just going to tilt my skillet and do some basting. Now I'm going to pull my steaks at 125 degrees. So these smaller pieces are the ones I'm going to check first. And you can see this one's at 116. This is not a steak that you want to really push past medium rare. It's best served as medium rare. Now, if you prefer medium, medium's okay. I would still pull it around 130. So I'm going to keep checking even before my 2 minutes. And see, I'm at 126, 127. I'm going to pull this piece of meat, set it on my board to rest. So I want to give these at least 5 minutes, up to 10 minutes to sit and rest. It's really important when you've cooked meat and you've cooked it really hot like this, and you have to kind of think of it as like all of the moisture in there is like boiling and it's looking for a way out. And if I cut into it right now, all of that is just going to run all over the place. Where if I let it sit and rest and I let all of that bubbling moisture and juices settle, they settle back into the meat, and then when I cut it, they don't run out because they've already settled back in. So now let's take its temperature after like 5 minutes to show you of that hold over cooking, how much heat actually comes up. So this piece here, I believe, was about 125, 126. And after 5 minutes, it's now up to 135, which is perfect. So when you look at that, you can see the grain running like that. So we're gonna cut it against it. So we're gonna cut our steak like this. And that's gonna give us that perfect, chewy bite. Tender and just perfection. And look at that temp on there. This hanger steak, I'm telling you, if you've never had one, get your hands on one. Go to Brown Percy, get their, it's 14-day dry aged, prime Angus beef, grass-fed. This is an explosion of beef flavor in your mouth. So delicious, easy to cook. It's just beautiful. So when you go to Brown Percy, use my code, get it 25. If you let them know that I sent you, they're going to give you $25 off your first order. And you're going to make me look good. I appreciate it. And I appreciate all of you. I love you. I love you. How to cook a hanger steak. Love introducing you to new things. So if you've never had a hanger steak, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you later. Bye.